Instructions unclear. Peeing everywhere.
Don't start peeing everywhere.
Knew it. It's too late.
Instructions unclear. Toaster and bathtub.
Instructions very clear. Still peeing everywhere regardless.
Okay, guys, don't. Listen. I agreed to do this commercial thing, and I agreed to do it live because the condition was we needed to waste time in the actual main show to do this, where it wasn't worth my effort. So like I said, I record this commercial, but you guys have to be in the booth now. You gotta make sure because we have to make sure we get these takes right. Are you ready for take one? Let me try. I'm gonna try to warm up now. I'm gently sipping a Gatorade water. Guys, it is very salty. Okay, let me try to get this right. Let me see if I got this right here. Hi, I'm Dan Cohen for the Sons of Tree Air. We go live almost every Friday of the year. That's almost 52 full shows. And if you don't like the fact that I use the word almost, I'm gonna have you deported by ICE. What do we think about take one?
I like it.
No notes.
How are they gonna? It's the uncounterable move. What are they gonna do? We don't even need to have any due process or habeas corpus or anything really. We can just do it.
I think I'm gonna try recording it one more time. I think I laughed a little bit too much. That's just me.
Okay, that's my apologies. I might have also laughed.
It's okay. That's all right. Silence in the booth. We're gonna try this take two. Hi, I'm Dan Cohen for the Sons of Tree Air. Oh, hold on. All right, stop. Take three.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's okay. We gotta get the jitters out.
Gotta.
This beverage is so salty, my guy.
So they've actually, I gotta ask, is that actually Gatorade water? Is that what you said it was? Or is it Gatorade you mix with water?
It's liquid IV.
Oh, okay. Brain functions now, thank you.
No, it's okay. It's like Gatorade water, right?
Yeah, no, that actually makes total sense now that you say it, but... Yeah.
It's so salty.
I needed you to explain it to me like that was 5, okay?
No, you're okay. You're good. Just remember, all right, we gotta be quiet in the booth. Quiet in the booth for this read. Hi, I'm Dan Cohen of the Sons of Tree Air. You can join me and my co-hosts, Juniper Nest, Jank Engels, NB, the Redneck Farmer Tech, and of course Michael Jordan Peterson, almost every Friday night. And if you do join us in the chat, which we do take live chats, we read them at the very least. Even if we don't respond, we read them, and we feel terrible about it. And since you make us feel terrible about it, if you join our chat, we'll have you deported by ICE. I think I fucked that up again. I want to hear your notes. I want to hear your notes.
I've got real bad news for you. I've already called ICE. They asked you to report to the nearest detention center.
I'm not doing that.
We're going to be deported.
I'm drinking this Gatorade water now.
Because we all know that you have MS-13 tattoos. You know that
I do.
Fucking Elmo you've got on your ass cheek is clearly MS-13.
I have a lot of MS Paint tattoos. The tattoos I drew in MS
basically
Paint.
The same thing.
It's kind of the same thing, yeah. I have a lot of MS Paint. So, do we have any notes about the read?
No, it's perfect.
You think it's perfect?
Literally couldn't be worse or better.
Well,
it literally is what it is.
Okay, but maybe we could do better. Should I try it again?
Oh.
In the words of that one guy that did it that one time, fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Do you think you should do it? I can't read the ad live every time. I don't know when people are going to hear the ad. I can't sit around waiting for people to click on the file to read the ad live.
Well, you can still record it live.
But that's what I'm doing right now. Am I doing it? Is it good? I feel like I could be doing better.
I don't think you can do any better. I think you're already perfect, Dan.
Do you really think so? I don't think so. I think I could be doing this better.
Could you try something a little more Joey?
What's that?
Could you try sounding a little more Jewy?
Sound a little more Jewy?
Yeah.
Okay, even though I don't,
Oh,
even
yeah.
though I
We
toned
need
down the Jew
character.
for the show.
Yes.
Hey,
Do you want me to use my real
MJP,
voice?
MJP, you're a
That
little
might
hard
be
to hear.
too Jewy.
Well, okay, how Jewy? Like, do you want 10% Jewy or 100% Jewy? Like, what do you want?
Ooh. Can you dial it up to like 80 or 90? You know what? Just do the full Monty.
Okay, so you want to try reading it as a Jew?
The full Cohen.
Okay, so don't do my white accent. Do my Jewish accent.
Right.
Okay, are you ready, guys? You ready? All right, quiet in the. Okay, see now I'm just getting suction in this cup. I really should have prepared more straight water and some tea instead of just Gatorade water and an iced tea. Okay, a little more Jewy, a little more Jewy, a little more Jewy. 5, 4, 3, 2, schmear. 5, 4, 3, 2, schmear. 5, 4, 3, 2, schmear. Hello, I'm Dan Cohen, and this is the Sons of Trier live streamed casted pod. And if you are watching this podcast and you are not a fan of Israel, I'm going to have ICE deport you. Goodbye. Ow. Okay, how was that?
Okay, dial it back. Dial it back.
Was that too much, Jew?
Might have been too much Jew.
A little too much.
It's more when you do the like it kind of makes the little spectrometer thing kind of cutting off a little bit. Like
You want
hard
just
to
enough.
digitize that.
Your high notes sounded like.
You want just enough Jew to appear like New York Jew, but not enough to be Israeli.
Okay, so don't do an Israeli. Okay.
That's what she said.
Fair. That's fair of her. She should say that. Okay, let me try this again. Oh, okay. All right. I am Dan Cohen. I am one of the hosts of the Sons of Trier. It is a podcast. And if you are listening to this podcast, you have been conscripted by the IDF. How's that for an ad? What do you think?
Ooh.
This is third time this week.
Is that how am I doing?
That was actually kind of funny. Not gonna
I've
lie.
ever heard.
You guys liked it? Okay. Do you want?
I did, but you know what?
I witnessed it.
I really like this bob haircut. That MJP has on his profile picture here.
You know me.
It's pretty good.
Turn time.
Yeah. So how we doing on the ad? What do you think? Do you think you need another take? Do you want another here? Do you want another take?
Yeah, but I'm gonna need about 5% Megatron.
I don't know if I could do Megatron, man. I don't know if I could do that. Come on.
A lot of Jew, very little Megatron.
Why did you very little? Those are the notes. You guys asked for 100%
No,
Jew.
I want 5% Transformers 1 Starscream Steve Buscemi in there.
I don't know if I can do Starscream Steve Buscemi. That is so oddly specific, and I don't actually know if I can do that with Starscream. Like, I gotta let you in on something. I never watched the Transformers.
What?
Oh, that's okay. You don't have to.
That would only make it better.
So I have to make it up. Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to.
Okay.
He's Starscream. He's a whiny
You know what?
bitch.
It'll be fine. We'll get it in post. We'll get it in post.
Do you want me to try another one? Just one more ad read.
Hell yeah, lay it on me.
Okay, hi. This is Dan Cohen for the Sons of Trier. I wanted to make you all aware of the fact that if you listen to the Sons of Trier, you are going to be deported by ICE to Israel, and then you will be forced to fight in the IDF, and you will have to bring your own women's clothing. They won't provide you any gauze and women's clothing. And also, you'll have to marry Ethan Klein. All right, thank you. Bye. Was that what? I don't know if that ad was good.
No, but it was
I think
funny.
you have a sale.
the best.
I think you have a sale.
That's it's for the end listener, not to sell you guys on it.
Like, but the last bit, I don't. Can you say that in an ad?
Thank you. Bye.
No, I thought you said you were going to be forced to marry Ethan Klein.
Yeah, you'll have to be forced to marry Ethan
Those
Klein.
are just the terms and conditions. They usually they do it at a low volume. And
isn't that broadcasting terroristic threats?
Well, I mean, really, terrorism is in the eye of the court.
In this case, it's just informing them the term and conditions of the contract.
Yeah, the terms and conditions of the contract. Yeah.
Okay.
The contract.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to keep them aware of the implications.
Yeah, I was just
hear...
since our rep from legal isn't here, I just wanted to try to, cross T's and dot I's.
And if you don't have an Ethan Klein there, you're gonna have we will provide an Ethan Klein for you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the word on the street is that Gaza's completely out of food.
Yeah.
It has been for a while.
No, I mean their stores are out. The Israelis have now set the starvation mode.
No, they have been for a while.
Well, then that might be in conflict because we knew that they were stopping the food shipments for a while, but we didn't know they were.
This has now become a starve genocide, basically.
Well, yeah, they're moving into mass starvation to try to lower the population.
That sounds like a war crime.
It is a pretty huge war crime. There is a non-zero amount of people who are like, I voted Trump to vote against genocide, and those people.
What?
Yeah, there are a lot of white people who are like, no, I didn't vote for Kamala to fight genocide, but I voted for Trump to fight genocide because he's clearly going to be better on the issue. And it's like, well, hold the phone.
What?
Hold the phone. There was no non-genocide candidate, so like you can just.
I doubt that motherfucker even knows. I doubt that motherfucker even knows how to wipe his own ass, dude.
Hello, I'm Donald Trump for the Sons of Trier. It's my favorite. It's my favorite radio program. They broadcast live. They broadcast live from Mattel Studios in Mattel with their president Barbie. Oh, what a hottie she is! And if you listen to the Sons of Trier, I will show you how to grab Mattel by the pussy. That one's not such a hit, huh?
No, you sound too coherent, too logical.
And the rhythm, like it works best. Like if I can imagine you sort of making that accordion gesture with your hands, and the rhythm was off on that. It didn't. The accordion wasn't playing right.
Honey.
The reality is,
honey.
The first answer was correct. You're just too coherent. Things are moving smoothly. It's not right.
It was complete sentences in English.
There's gotta be
it lacks that general unhinged
weird sounds where you can just see in your mind his arms moving.
You can see in your mind
sort of tiny windmill.
Like a tiny windmill, a tiny little windmill, a beautiful firefighter, honey. A beautiful firefighter.
It's a beautiful windmill.
Moving the beautiful windmill. Not one of the ones that causes the sound cancer or kills the birds.
Right.
That's right.
Perfect.
That's perfect. It's beautiful. It's a big, beautiful windmill.
See, that is our putrid psychopathic serial killer president. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Spot on.
It's a big, beautiful Sons of Trier. What a great country Trier is. I've been there, folks. It's one. They love me in Trier. They
That's
love
great.
me.
It sounds like he just learned how to talk yesterday.
They love me in Trier. A, B,
Which is how we know
C,
it's
D,
perfect.
and a couple of others. That's what they said to me. They said, we know about your alphabet. We're very impressed with your alphabet. And they said, honey, you have a gorgeous cock. And I said, what's a cock? And they explained to me what that means in their language. Apparently it means penis. Who knew? First I'm hearing about it. Who knew?
Could have
But
meant
that's what they're
anything.
saying. So
That is what they
anyway,
are saying.
you should listen to Barstool Sports. It's a wonderful podcast, and if you do, you'll be joining the IDF.
Oh well, you're not allowed to plug other podcasts here.
Shit, I'm sorry. I forgot. All right, my bad, man. My
Yeah,
bad.
please, Mr.
That
President,
mindful
calm down.
awareness on Wednesdays on Twitter.
That is
Honey,
the only one
your
that has
mind will
respect
be
it.
so well. There'll be so much wellness, honey. Honey, the
You went
mind will
over
be
the
so
line,
wellness.
sir.
I went on Mindful Wellness, and they had this fast talking guy. He talks so fast. I think he was on the methamphetamine. I think he was on the methamphetamine, and he said to me, I'm not gonna do his voice. It's fine. I'm not gonna do his voice. Fuck.
Yeah. Terrible voice to even witness in passing.
I was gonna do a thing about him being gay and me being gay for him, and then us being gay together. I was gonna do this whole thing, but that's like I can't do the voice right now. Plus, he wouldn't know how to do
gay.
the voice. It's
You're
not like,
gay.
the problem was I ran
We're
into a
all
wall with
gay.
a character. Yeah, I ran into a wall with a character where I wanted the character to do the voice, but I can't do the character. The character's not gonna do the voice. It's Donald Trump. It's not Donald. Donald Trump's like, and that's when Ricky Lake told me, honey, like that's not how Ricky Lake talks. He just pretends he's everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the host of
Ever done
Mindful
a silly voice in his life?
No, he's never done a silly voice. He's either, the most he did was when he made fun of that person who was in the wheelchair, right? He made fun of that sick person. It's the closest thing he did to a funny voice. That was him just going and flailing
That's his
his
concept
arms.
of funny.
The reporter with CP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was he could do the gestures, but I don't see him being able to pull off a voice.
No, I don't think he could, because like I said, in his mind, like he does everybody. He'd be like, and I was talking to Juniper Nest, and Juniper Nest was like, honey.
Well, the problem is, humor is fundamentally an
Yeah.
empathetic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to be able to put yourself in the mind of someone else.
Yeah.
He's way too sociopathic for that.
That's true. He doesn't even believe other people exist. Honey.
I just had a vision of like the inside of his, being on the inside of his brain, and it's like the part in Being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Where like when they do sort of like the double sleeve, and it's like Malkovich, and except it's all Donald Trump's.
Mm-hmm.
Doing voices requires talent.
Hey Dan, I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Have you watched Andor?
I don't. I haven't. I don't really watch those shows.
Okay. The only reason the only reason I ask is because MJP, have you watched it yet?
Parts of it.
Parts of it. Okay, so then this question's more for you. You know how they are doing a pretty decent job of like depicting like basic infighting?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of like leftist infighting. I'm wondering if you all have any opinions in our, because clearly we have a lot of leftist infighting too.
That's our whole show, really.
Right. But my question is do we actually have any advice for that? I guess. Does Dan or MJP have any advice for that?
Fighting?
You go first.
Yeah, like.
don't.
It's short and sweet. Stop it.
Yeah. Honestly, I love that. I love it. That's great.
Well, hi. I'm Dan Cohen from the Sons of Trier, and as you see this week, our topic is leftist infighting. What I have to say to that is that if
Fucking
you come
don't.
on this show and you go into our chat, we're going to deport you to Israel to fight for the IDF.
Okay, but realistically,
How was that? Hold on.
part of
How was
that
that ad read, though? How was that ad read?
it's great. It's
Via
great.
ice.
Okay. All right. So,
Okay, but realistically, to realistically answer your question, there's gonna have to be two different types of infighting here. One is the realistic, actual having issues, and that has to be worked out after you complete your objectives while you're not being killed. So you should keep that context in mind. And then there's the infighting that is entirely predictable with SOCDEMs and the types that are really just trying to be wreckers. That you have to purge with extreme prejudice.
mhm. Yeah.
But do you think it is advantageous to use the shit out of those people?
So,
To use the shit out of them depends on who are we referring to specifically.
Like SOCDEMs, you know, like if they've got
No,
if they've
they'll
got
betray you. Any power you give them, they'll use to betray you.
yeah, if you like,
but don't give them power, just take their shit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I'm not
sure.
allowed to do anything on the show.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but like, if you figured it out, like, it Marx gives us I think the best guidance on this. The guidance Marx would give us is that your enemy really is your enemy, even if on something you agree. That's errant and haphazard. It's situational and should not be taken as a concrete matter. So, when it comes to this stuff, what liberals will do, the liberal thing, and this is a thing that all leftists revile, right? The liberal goes, oh, I need to show how much of a rules good boy I am. I'll put a Republican in my administration, or I'll give a Republican this token power. And the moment you do that, your enemy's going to be smart enough to exploit that access like crazy against you, because as much as you agree, you disagree that much more. And that is something we don't like to admit, like between conservatives and liberals in the democratic capitalist sense, is that they also have their own fights internally. They also don't like each other internally. What they do like is hating us. So what we should be doing in that case is, whenever our enemies are infighting, encourage it. Don't give them resources. Don't give them any more help than is necessary to keep the infighting, unless you see like a particularly bad guy that you really, really hate. Like let's take Donnie, right? Donnie's the absolute maximum. We should still not be donating our resources to be we should not be donating our resources and really not much of our time to destroying him through the channels of the Democratic Party. But if the Democrats were to get in a situation where, like, we're going to depose him and put him in jail, at that point it is okay to break the rule and put your effort behind it. Just don't make sure they're the ones holding the bag at the end of it if it backfires. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If they need somebody serving drinks at HQ, by all means, serve the drinks at HQ that night. But if they need somebody to go out, I saw this. This had come up in the context of some a black organizer. Okay, and what he had said, and I won't repeat all of it, but it's pull the trigger blank, wherein white people in radical spaces will organize in such a way that they try to pin the radical action off on a black body, so that if it backfires, they may not get to take the credit for the action, right? But they don't have to take any of the consequence. And we should not be doing that to like as white people, we should not be doing that to our comrades. However, if the liberals are in a position to do that, we should by all means be deploying that tactic and urging them and backing them to do it and being their most ardent defender. Because what we are doing is utilizing them to take the fall of responsibility.
So, like, let's say, like, in this area, right, where I'm at, where clearly, leftists are very scarce
Yeah.
because I'm in a red area, right? We've got the Demsos reaching out saying, "Hey, you want to hook up and do stuff?" And we're like, you know what? We're not going to let you have any power, but we might utilize you just to get resources from you.
Yeah, if you're like, that's what they're gonna do to you. They want your vote and they don't want anything else out of you, right?
Yep, exactly. They just want to. Oh well, I'm assuming they probably want to take our list of people that we have. Like, they just want our resources, basically.
Yeah, they want your mailing list.
And so we're thinking, well, fuck you, but we might use your shit. Like, if you're gonna go out into have like a booth somewhere, maybe we'll have a booth next to you. But we're not gonna.
Touch on an important
We're not
thing.
friends.
Well, not all areas are gonna have not all areas are gonna have communist movements, and they're not all going to have and even the ones that don't have particularly good ones. Just don't get fooled into thinking that SOCDEMs or Democrats or whatever are your friends. And keep in mind that at some point that conflict is coming. So as you build the faction within the enemy's camp, just be sure that you know that you're going to break away from that and have a plan for it before it happens.
So it kind of sounds like let's say that you've got like a local right-wing nut job, but something the president did pissed him off and he's like, well, I'm going to snipe that bitch. It's okay to give him a ride to the rally, but you don't buy tickets and you don't start going to CPAC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah, you need to be able to wash your hands clean of that, because if it can get back to you in any way, you were fucked.
I was just being a nice neighbor and helping him get a ride.
Right.
I didn't know what he was doing.
These are cans of soup to feed my family.
I just saw him walking on the road and wanted to be a good neighbor and asked him if he needed a ride.
It was
he told
hot
me
out
what he
there.
was gonna do, and I said, I can't. I don't know about all that, but you need a ride to the place, I'll take you. Because I'm just that neighborly.
Poor guy looked parched.
Yeah.
Well,
camping out in that sniper spot. Just get him a little bit of water.
As always, I appreciate your guys' insight on things and your opinion. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. It's just a matter of like, when it comes to the conservatives, you should almost never give them aid unless you're in a safe spot where you know that they couldn't take power anyway. Like in that kind of scenario, like you can give token support to the conservatives, like, hey, I get it, the liberals are annoying. Like something token like that. Just to keep them pushing. You know what I mean?
You don't want to actively support them, but you don't necessarily have to stop them. Or realistically, you want to peel them off to your side, if possible. Plant that seed of like, hey,
I get it.
You have some ideological inconsistencies over there. We might be able to help out with that.
Yeah, I get it. They sure are annoying. Oh, let me tell you. Nope, no. We're good. That's all we needed to say.
Have you
They're
heard about our
annoying.
Lord and Savior communism?
Yeah. That's all we're going to say about that. They're annoying. We
I
agree
thought,
they're annoying.
I thought our Lord and Savior was Chief Miles O'Brien.
No.
The other Lord and Savior.
Oh, right. Sorry.
But yeah, you shouldn't be aggressively helping those people. The left liberals are closer to us, so we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and by that I mean we're going to extend just a modicum more assistance to them, and then we're not going to give them any assistance.
But yeah, you asked about leftist infighting. None of these people are leftist.
That's part of it though. It works kind of the same way. If you're working on leftist infighting, like when you're talking about a SOCDEM who is all, who is a leftist, except when it comes, when the shit hits the fan, right?
And it turns to fascism. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're still, like, whether to like it, they're still to the left of the liberals. Like,
Yeah,
look at the progs right now. Look at the fucking progressives right now, and tell me, like, what do you think we should do? Do you think we should be running to Cenk Uygur's side? He's giving fucking on-air fucking tug jobs to fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. He's
Right.
draining
We're
her
we're
vein.
we're in a situation where where the so-called left is endorsing genocide and ethno states
Yeah,
and and all kinds of other aberrant behavior and still trying to walk around calling themselves the left.
yeah.
Like when you said leftist infighting, I was thinking like,
What,
anarchists or tankies or
sure.
Maoists or
Oh, I'm covering the whole
um
thing. I'm going from furthest to most to closest. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
all these
yeah, like
tactics apply.
spectrum.
Yeah, it's spectrum shit. So when you move into the actual left of your commies and your fucking anarchists and shit like that, you have to keep in mind that the extreme commies and the extreme anarchists are seeking more so to fight with each other than they are to prove historical beefs or to like declare victory in historical beefs than they ever are to actually get anything done. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's the actual third, like, not political in America comfortable third world Maoists. I mean actual third world Maoists and shit. They don't give a fuck if you're an anarchist or not. You know what they care? Can you hold a goddamn gun? Do you follow orders?
will you pass out a fucking sandwich?
And
Yeah.
this infighting isn't really an issue in real life.
No.
I mean,
This is
maybe after you complete your objectives, you're gonna look and say, hey, we're gonna be building a structure here, and they're gonna be like, it's a state. Well, we can deal with that later.
and honestly, genuinely, two things. One, real world anarchists and people who are anarchists in the world, they don't have any undue expectations about going right to a stateless society they have no idea what the vision of is. They fully expect that to be a project too, just as Lenin fucking described, funny enough. Their vision of anarchism is one that is provided by Lenin, and the immediate stage is like, well, we're going to have to figure out how all this shit works, really. That's what we're going to have to do. There's no getting around it. Which is
And when it
correct.
comes down to it, a lot of them end up being are in reality some sort of ANCOM.
Yeah. Most of them are ancoms, not even real, like, genuine fucking anarchists. And those genuine fucking anarchists, like, in real life, tend to look the other way when it comes to the communists and go, like, I don't completely agree, but it's better than what that guy wants. So looks like that's my buddy. And they just move them on to their business. And frankly, that's what the communists do. I don't really agree with that per se, but I'll tell you what, that's a hell of a lot better than what that guy's offering.
I just think the online left is a bad representation of what goes on in real life,
It is.
particularly because a lot of people won't admit that they're looking for some kind of clout.
Right. We're sitting on this where we try to identify ourselves by our personality and our particular brands. We're also clout chasing whores. I think we do the best out of all of the left sphere in terms of not being a clout chasing whore, and consequently, we're also the worst paid. That's the consequence of that
You're
behavior.
here.
Am I wrong?
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, it is
You
what it
said
is.
worst paid, right? PAID. Okay, I wanted to make sure. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry, just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly because yes, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been paid a little bit one time for legitimate art services one time, so
Mhm.
it counts. There is a number. It's not zero. I mean, it's close to zero, but it's not zero.
It is not zero. It's not zero, but it is not very
Services
high.
were in fact rendered.
Services were rendered and appreciated.
So you actually got the means of your production for that?
Yeah, petite bourgeois in that manner.
Well, technically speaking, like the way what had happened there is he wouldn't get his means of production. He would have been reimbursed for his labor.
Hmm.
You know, that's. I mean, if we're gonna be technical about it.
No, you're right.
Don't give away the game. Yeah, it's funny. All the kind of issues like leftist infighting comes up like very frequently online, but like in person, I mean, it just looks like someone just like dropping out, and then you just don't hear from them.
Yeah, it's not really the same thing. Um,
And then you'll find out later that they had some kind of disagreement with another leftist, and they just felt like they didn't want to work with you anymore, and they started doing stuff with other organizations, or
that's
life got in the way, and they just kind of stopped doing stuff in general.
yeah.
You want
It's
to know
never.
where actually? You want to know where the most of the leftist infighting has come from? My point of view, it
Yeah.
almost. I mean, it does. Of course, everything harkens back to your morals
Twitter.
and values, right? But I mean,
Twitter
it's
for
almost.
500, Alex.
It's it's like almost other shit that's not even related to like communism or anarchism in general. It's just like everyday fucking bullshit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, like this guy started dating this chick and he fucking they're like 20 years apart, and then he dates this other chick that's 20 years apart, and we're all like, oh shit, you're a groomer.
Yeah. Let's be honest here. Leftist infighting, we're not even at a stage where we can consider that as an issue. Along with other things, you're putting the cart in front of the horse here. We're still at the point where we have to purge from our movements and build us to a certain level. We have to purge the isms, your xenophobias, your racisms, your sexisms, your toxic patriotisms and things like
Yeah,
that. So they're
like,
looking like at a stage that we're not even at yet.
well, yeah, because like even the anarchists around here, 90% of them are liberals larping as anarchists.
Well, I got bad news.
No, I understand. I get it. But
that was me stirring up some leftist infighting.
I 100% understand what you're getting at, but
Yeah,
it's
those are the
just,
good
yeah.
ones.
Fuck, dude.
I'll say this.
Look,
I don't care for tanky versus anarchitty. I find that to be the minute I find somebody say that, I'm like, well, we're done here.
Yeah,
When it
because you're
comes,
dealing with a 3-year-old.
yeah, well, yeah, you're having an argument with a figure. I tell you what, I was over at a buddy's house. My buddy is actually a left liberal, and he has a friend who's like allegedly an anarchist, and he's mostly an ANCOM, right? And what I had said was, I said, look, I'm gonna be real with you. You would describe me as a tanky. I said, that said, I'm gonna give you some criticisms of Stalin. One, I actually thought he didn't do enough, which kind of freaked him out. I think Stalin had an opportunity to do a lot more, and I think Stalin kept trying to give up the ghost due to his age and health. I said, two, when Lenin and Stalin went after the anarchists up north in that one strike, when they went after them and did actual leftist infighting in a real sense, I said that was wrong because those anarchists had followed right along with the Bolsheviks to get the revolution done as they ought to have. And what they were asking for was a trade unionist concession within the context of the Soviet Union. So attacking them was directly the wrong thing to do. And he just looked at me. He's like, "That's the thing that always gets my." He looks at me. He says, "Honest to God," he says, "That's the thing that always gets my craw. You guys always defend that." I said, "I don't. That was wrong. That he shouldn't have done. I mean, like if you can't in the Soviet Union, if you can't have a union, what are we even fucking doing here?" And he was just like, all right, you're all right. You know what I mean? Like suddenly it was like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, we do have differences of opinion, but we can gloss over most of it because most of it is bullshit at the end of the day.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
get free healthcare and then start getting down to the nitty gritty? Like that's what I say right now, because it's like we can't.
Which, as an aside, you're not going to get healthcare with capitalism, which means that
You can.
you're not gonna get healthcare with SOCDEMs.
With SOCDEMs, no.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I have no interest in SOCDEMs.
So there's really
to be
very
honest,
little
as much
point to
as
have them around.
You know what? Pushback on that. I'm gonna give you pushback on that. I know that's crazy, but I'm gonna give you some pushback
Okay, good.
on that.
Good. Yeah,
Like if you look at all the countries that have free healthcare, they all range from SOCDEM to communist countries. Like they all like it's very easily to like it's actually like one of the most painfully easy things to do. We can't do it here because we are the furthest right in the realm of capitalism. But like we could do it.
Right. I'm just saying
we can't
here
do it
under these conditions, it's not really a thing.
No, under these
Like,
conditions, no.
Really, they're ultimately just defending capitalism without really wanting to say it.
Yeah, okay, and like you said, okay, I'll give you that one, right? Not fighting on that point, but like I am like, no, we could do it. Like we could definitely get the job done.
I mean, yeah, that's like a long shot. It's still a shot.
It's doable. I mean, like again, like what societies have done it? They've all mostly been SOCDEM or communist countries. You know, before that, you had monarchist countries that fucking had fucking universal health care or whatever approximation they could get. And prior to that, you had tribal societies where essentially, like, they had to do that because you couldn't afford the plague running rampant, even if they were fucking, you know, even if it wasn't what we would consider the best health care in the world, right? But they can still do it. It's like we can do that shit. We're just not going to. Like the Americans aren't going to do it because we're fucking dogs.
Yeah, you're not gonna end up in a tribal society and then break your leg and they look over you and say, "Oh, your bill is $7,000."
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and
7,000. What is this fucking discount hour?
Yeah, really.
Those are fucking rookie
for
numbers
the initial
for a broken
consultation,
leg.
at least.
Oh, there we go. Now we're talking.
But yeah, like I'm not trying to be
Just
shitty.
to look at it,
like,
right?
That's $7,000 after insurance.
After insurance, just to look at it.
I just want to, I just want to functionally point out that like universal healthcare has largely been a capitalist treat, and like capitalists can do it. You know, it's the thing about these market economies, right? Like they can just do that stuff. It's not hard. It's right there. All they have to do is agree that they're not going to use like that specific industry at that specific
But my
nexus.
profits.
Well, yeah,
my
but
profits
they
can
just say
never
they're not,
fall. A line can never go down.
right. But they just have to agree not to do it. And as long as everybody keeps agreeing not to, it's just like it's just like anything else in capitalism, right? If everybody's like, yeah, I guess, okay. What happens though when somebody gets the political will to change it negatively? Like it goes back.
The old yoink.
Yeah.
Yoink. Give me that healthcare back.
So I'm just saying, like, when you make that claim, like, let's consider.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, it is conceivable, but
it's perfectly doable. But we have to have the gumption to do it, and we have to have
but a
to have
lot
the
of
pressure
things
campaign
are
to do it.
technically doable that
And
aren't really even mentioned.
if you also think about it too, if you take another step back, like who's responsible for like all the most famous healthcare, right? Like in America, we have Israel's. That's us. We pay for that now.
True.
we have Saudi Arabia's for Saudi Arabians. Who pays for that? Us. You think the Saudi Arabian monarchy doesn't think they pay for that? No, we pay for that. Duh. Like, if you look at European healthcare models, right? Like Spain, no. Right? The Spanish had to do that one on their own through Franco, but they did that under fascism. They built that under fascism. The national health insurance, the national health care of the UK. Who fucking helped them set that up? That was us. Japan's national healthcare system. That was all us.
So what I'm hearing is we're real great at setting up national healthcare systems, as long as an American life isn't saved at all.
Yeah, kind of. Like, that's kind of how to interpret that. Like, we're really good at it. Well, right now we're bankrolling 2, and we set up 3 of those. 4. We set up 4 of them. You know.
Well, you see, if we did that in our country, though, we would be stripping a person of their rights, and that person is, or people are the corporations that are making money off of it.
Right.
Yeah, it's United Healthcare.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How dare you try and take away
And we
United
would not
Healthcare's
want to
right?
restrict the right of United Healthcare to make as much money as it probably could, because that's just un-American.
It is un-American. Yeah. But yeah, like, that's, So get back to you, Farmy. When you say that, like, I get it. It's not going to happen. Michael Jordan Peterson's ultimately correct. It's not going to happen, but it's not unthinkable. You can't.
But I guess my more thought is, like, we have things that we can rally behind that we fucking agree on to go forward. That's what I would like to do, please.
Yeah, I would also say
that's
that,
more
like,
my point.
I would also say that, like, we have to conceptualize, if not uniquely, we have to conceptualize beyond treats that can happen under capitalism. Like, the left is a little bit limited on its thinking too, because if we also consider the healthcare point, right? How did we get those healthcare systems? Well, in part, the United States, right? We paid for that shit, and in some cases, we're actively paying for that shit. But what's the preconditions to those healthcare systems coming into play? I'm gonna look at. I'm just really curious about one thing. So, and if we keep going further, right, Singapore, we would help set that up. The Philippines, we help set that up, right? But what's the premise to all these healthcare systems? When we think about the UK, got their healthcare system post World War II. Japan post World War II, Israel post World War II, the Philippines post World War II, Singapore post World War II. What's
you're saying all we need? You're saying all we need is a world war?
All we need is the violent overthrow of the ruling regime, and they're faltering, right? They're faltering with legitimacy in the eyes of the general civilian populace, and then an opportunity to empower them through healthcare and use that piece of public policy to keep them under control. So, like, why do we have those healthcare systems? Well, for the most part, we basically bankrolled them to prevent the communists from taking over. Like, that's it. And you'd be like, well, why would you need to do that in Saudi Arabia? Well, in Saudi Arabia, if the communists are the ones who are providing those social services to that regime, it undermines that regime because those are workers. And in Saudi Arabia, you have a pseudo middle class, sort of like a racial gentry, if you will, and then you have slaves. Well, what are those slaves going to do if they're getting talked to by the communists all the time about how to maybe overthrow their slavery? You're going to have something bad. Saudi Arabia doesn't have a standing army to defend itself. So if the communists want to overthrow something like Saudi Arabia, they're done. That's why they can't be neutral, right? They have to side with us and glom onto us like a tick. In the case of Israel, it is not unforeseeable in 1948, if that plays out a different way, if we get overly bogged down in Korea fighting China. It's not entirely inconceivable that post Nakba, the Israelis are looking for some, national narrative where they're the good guys, and the Soviets roll in with, listen, man, these tragedies do happen, but if you do this and you become a socialist republic, and you liberate these Gazans from what you've done in the past, and you get them reparations through these public works, then everything's going to work out just fine. There's no rhyme or reason that couldn't have happened, really. Just the cards didn't play out that way because of the way, because of course Truman's aggression is a different type of aggression against communism, right? There's no rhyme or reason that couldn't have happened. So a lot of that is these places are, and like Japan's easy. Japan had an active communist party, and this next door neighbor is China. China's furthermore looking for vengeance against the monarchy in Japanese capitalism. So it's very easy to see why you'd want to keep the Japanese under control by pumping up their healthcare system on steroids and keeping them loyal to the government, keeping the government legitimized. We can provide services you need. Britain, post World War II, Britain's sympathetic to the socialist cause. The socialists are the ones who just did the 50% of saving their asses and winning the war in their minds. And Churchill is just a psychotic cunt screaming about how fucking terrible the fucking commies are. So it's very easy to see that we needed to uphold the Churchill government, the post-Churchill government, by pumping a bunch of fresh cash and building up their healthcare system in order to keep their populace under control. Now, the Brits will tell you we did that ourselves, but I want to ask you, with whose cash? What fucking money did you people have? You're on a goddamn island where your fucking potato fields are fucking blown the fuck up. And there's only so much blood you can get out of the Irish and only so much slavery labor you can get out of the Irish, because they also got hurt in that war. So spare me the fucking nonsense. You guys have nothing. We did that. The post the like Norway and shit like that. The post Soviet or the post Nazi states. How do we keep them from falling to the Soviet Union? Well, we're going to have some kind of comparable social services. We talk about Norway, Finland, and Sweden and all them being like, oh, look how nice these Nordic countries are, and we act like that's an act of pure whiteness. That's the racist interpretation because those countries are ethnically pure. It's like that, but in reality, no. We just dumped copious amounts of cash into them to keep them from going too far left. And that's also why, because of their border state status with the Soviet Union, they have far more active lefts. The Soviets were still able to influence them on a day-to-day basis, but they weren't able to do something big. We got there first. So it's. I really went on a tangent on this one, but like if you think about it, like all of Europe's socialist healthcare, like I said, the only thing that isn't is like Franco's Spain. But Franco's Spain did that under fascism, just like the Nazis did their healthcare under fascism. Just like the Italians did. You can do national healthcare under fascism. You can just do that. It is just, that's where somebody like Cenk Uygur fucks me off because he's like, that's socialism. Like, it's not. It literally is just, do you have a national healthcare system or not? It might actually be genuinely apolitical on its face, and then you have to inject the political motives into it. That might be the way to conceive of it. Because you can certainly just do it. What we call public transit, would we really call that socialism? It seems like it'd be a feature under socialism, but you find that in capitalist countries all the time. The bus is a thing.
They don't like.
Well, that's
they're not big fans of it.
They're not fans of it. Some of them are. That's how we get it. We get it because somebody's a fan of it. Just in the long run, all public space has to be like ceded back to the market. I don't know. It's just amusing. I could be dead ass wrong, but like.
No, it also, there's a million reasons why you would want to pump somebody's healthcare up. The other thing is that when they first get in there, and start building that, they also have an in whatever country they're in, right?
Right. Yeah. You have a good reason to be there.
So, yeah, there's a million reasons why you'd want to do it. Like you said, especially during the time of the Red Scare, where it was very much so, if we don't do this, if we don't help these people, if we don't, and you have to, because like the thing is you have to meet these people at a place, right? You can't just force capitalism completely on them. What you have to do is you have to almost like sneak it in, right?
Yeah.
So like that's what they're doing.
And if you want a case in that, how that looks, look at what's happened with Russia. How did they take it? How did they take capitalism being forced upon them with absolutely zero assistance? Are they happy with us? Do they seem pleased right now? What are they doing about it? You know what I mean? Well, they've decided to go to war with the whole thing, and damn the consequences. They've decided to launch an open war against capitalism, and damn the consequences. So, like, Yeah, like I'm not saying it's good, but I am saying those guys in the 50s thought this through a little bit harder than how we're handling it today. You
Yeah,
know,
they very much. It was very strategic.
the
It was
neo
very strategic.
the neoliberals' cheapness is their biggest downfall every time. There's an aside to take away too. The neoliberals just refusing to drop a fucking dollar on anything is really biting them in the ass.
I mean, I could just made me realize like there is one way that we could get. I see a path to there being some sort of universal health care
Yeah.
coming out of our system. And that's when the fascists realize that if they want their, if they want progress towards their desire of a white ethno state, we can't be having the abysmal like maternal mortality rates that we have.
That's possible.
Basically, what Germany did.
Yeah.
Wasn't that basically what Hitler did? When Hitler was like, "Oh shit, we gotta make sure these motherfuckers are tip top shape."
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
all this screaming about like, great replacement and like we need more white babies. Well, I don't know. That would probably be more attractive to people if like, it won't go fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They're gonna fuck it up because remember, like the two things. One, the German successes under the Nazis are overblown. They are still fascists, right? They really didn't do that great a job of healthcare, but they still had a notion of universal healthcare.
Right. Well, kind of like the ideal of public health.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's not, you don't really care about the health of the individual, but it makes sense to care about the health of your populace.
Correct. Yeah, and that's a little bit closer to what they were doing. The other thing is like I guess it's three things. Number two, the Nazis are really muddled up in mysticism and bullshit and all that kind of stuff, and they're really kind of bad at what they set it out to do. Right? They're not really all that good at it. I mean, if you are a landlocked country or a pseudo landlocked country only having a northern coast that is heavily monitored by enemy naval traffic, and you have no access to oil naturally, and really not all that much iron, okay, and your entire plan is like, what if I attacked everybody everywhere all the time? Your competency is probably overblown, right? You're probably not.
Wait a minute. Back that up.
Yeah.
You telling me that this might not have been a good idea for the losing side?
This might not have been a good idea for them. In retrospect, when people talk about like Rommel was a fucking genius, I think that Rommel was up against a very, very, very low graded curve. Because, and notably because, whenever Rommel had to face somebody who was competent and had resources, his scoreboard dropped. But when you compare him to the other Germans whose only successes were literally, what if we ran at them in a straight line with a bunch of tanks? Which,
Dan, when you say German like mysticism, are you talking about like how a lot of the Nazis believed in like occult type shit?
yeah,
Is that what you're?
what we
Oh,
consider conspiracy thinking today was like originally rooted in Nazi. It's rooted in the real phenomena of Nazi occultism, i.e., they we have absorbed their legacy of just being absolutely fucking dull in the brain, and our leadership is acting out that dullardness. So like maybe there are some claims throughout history we need to re-examine. Like, did the Nazis take Poland because the Poles were too fucking stupid to know what wheels were, or did the Nazis take Poland because Britain and France co-signed it and handed it to them on a silver platter, and did absolutely nothing to lift a finger to even begin slowing them down, so that the wealth of Poland could be taken and they had more access. They had access to oil that was originally reserved for Poland's use for their own use of war. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start thinking through a lot of things, like wow, they really did a lot of work globally to make the Nazis a thing, and they still couldn't even make the fucking thing happen because the Nazis were too goddamn ungrateful.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're really not wrong.
I just, in retrospect,
Because,
perhaps
like,
that's the narrative.
Yeah, because it's not like there isn't land between Germany and Poland, right?
Right.
Like,
It's literally
it's
the
not
next
like
door
they
neighbor.
teleported.
Yeah. They didn't have to go very far relative to this. The distance between Germany and Poland, from the north coast of Germany down to the fucking southern reaches of Poland, right? Or the western reaches of Poland, or what have you, is really not that different than crossing a bunch of states. That's something with horses you can accomplish in days. So, like, was it really that arduous of a feat? Was it arduous of a feat to take a country that had just been created 5 minutes ago over? Was that like a skill thing? Was that like, oh, we're so brilliant? Because also, if you look at where they had their victories, we're supposed to be like, wow, we're supposed to be really impressed. Like, at what? Absolutely, I am. What am I supposed to be impressed by? Sure. You know, you beat up Poland, you beat up Czechoslovakia, another country. You beat up Austria, a country where people were just like, we would love it if we were Germans.
Got their ass kicked by the Soviets, though.
Yeah, they did. Weird enough. What countries beat the fuck out of them? Was it the two largest countries in the world who were in alliance with each other? Did those countries beat the shit out of the Germans? Is that what happened? Weird. If you're as tiny as you are, you're like, I'm just scrutinize some of these myths. If you're really that small, if you're just a small bean, well, the fuck did you start a fight with everybody in the goddamn neighborhood? What kind of a fucking moron does that? You have the tiniest country. You have one of the tinier countries in Europe outside of the actual microstates. You basically have no oil.
It's because he had little man syndrome, dude.
Yeah, that's about it, though. That's about it. Like,
I mean, he was a failed artist. He was all angry at life because
penis.
he thought that. I'm sure. I mean, it didn't matter. Like, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
If he had a big dick, he wouldn't know how to use it. It wouldn't matter.
His heart dick was very tiny. even if he actually did have a banging hog, his heart dick, small and inferior.
His heart dick.
His heart dick. No skill with that thing. Also, like,
it shrunk 3 sizes that day.
Also, like, I don't have. Has anybody else here ever actually read Mein Kampf?
I have.
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh, treat yourself. Honest to God.
It is awful.
Wait, hold on. No, it's one of the greatest works ever translated from German. After all, the first chapter, I knew I was special. When my daddy said I had to get a job, I told him, I don't think so.
He is not lying. I'm a big boy. Ugh.
I knew I was destined for great things when my dad said, you need to learn morals, young man. And I said, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to go my own path.
And to make it worse, I read it after reading the Communist Manifesto. So
yeah.
I was like, let me see these positions out. And the contrast was night and day.
Our most famous and frankly collectively worst work, our boring, banal, like, hey, what if we got to get these people radicalized in 5 minutes? What will we put out? Our slop is leaps and bounds a fucking billion times better than Hitler's magnum opus, which is like, oh, well, Poland's actually run by the Negroids and it's German territory. So
I was ordained by a witch to rule the universe.
Yeah, that's the shit that's in there, though. Like,
it really is.
If you're radicalized by Mein Kampf, you have the raw intelligence of a dog. Like, you don't.
I was going to say it sounds like a junior high schooler's diary.
It is. He writes like a sassy valley girl from the 80s.
Gag me with a spoon. They're not Aryan.
Yeah, that's like it.
That's amazing.
That's like
what
it. I haven't read Mein Kampf since I was in high school, and there was a reason I read it then. I reread the first chapter the other week on a lark, and I was like, I forgot how terrible this book was. And then I reread the first chapter. Well, my dad, he had a special job, but I'm even specialer. So like, fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna run the Nazi party. Like, you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is
How
this
brain
is
dead and vapid Hitler is.
like yeah, like you're Wotan, huh? You're Odin. You're the incarnation of Odin. You are the German will. The German will is worried about giving a blowjob to the back of her boyfriend in a fucking in a fucking DeLorean. That's the will of the Germans. What a fucking embarrassing movement. What a fucking embarrassing country.
Movement started by the equivalent of like the son of a local car dealership guy.
Kind of, yeah. But like his dad was way lower ranked than that.
Oh, I'm so sad that I get that.
Yeah. Except for the fact that like the terrifying thing is if you were familiar with the name Hitler before Adolf, like let's go back before the 20s, right? What you would know of is like oh, the Hitlers are studious workers. They don't really have a big vision. They're good, quiet Germans. They're just chill people. Everybody wants to have
Hitler his stepdad?
No.
It's slow. The word slow would come into play.
Yeah, the word slow might come into play. They're just
I
really
methodical. We call it methodical.
I thought Hitler was his adopted name.
I don't
like
think
his
so.
dad adopted it. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
No, he's just an Austrian.
Sorry, I'm not a Hitlerologist.
No, he was the fourth of 6 children born to Aloy Hitler and his third wife Clara Polzel. No, his dad just fucking went from woman to woman, banging.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
One of these kids is gonna make me famous.
No, literally, it's one of these kids is gonna live for 5 minutes. He had 6 siblings, only 3 of them lived.
Oh shit! Everybody watch Elon's Kids.
Yeah. And like again, he was like his dad was like a bureaucrat who was like, you need to just learn how to have a fucking job and run the country. Like you need to have a nice, normal job.
Go take the civil service test.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing too, is like at school those people had limited minds. I was a free thinker. And it was really like, Adolf, do your fucking homework. Show up to class when we tell you. And for the love of Christ, stop trying to fight all the other kids.
You telling me the F students are not the creators?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did anyone tell that other guy with podcast equipment?
That's right.
I read the fucking funniest meme and said, hold on, I gotta look it up now. Okay, I gotta look it up. I'll drop it in the chat. Continue. My apologies.
6'6" personality packed into a 5'5" frame. Oh boy.
Yeah. Also, for the record, his dad had an even more cool mustache. Like, I'm just gonna say it.
Wow.
Hitler's dad. No, I'm gonna show you a picture of Hitler's dad. He had a banging mustache. And like in his defense, like you know how sometimes they say, I don't know if you were hit. Well, maybe we don't need tariffs on podcasting equipment for straight men, huh? Maybe we don't need podcasting equipment.
Oh, look at that fucking baller ass.
I know, right? Like the guy had a manly mustache, and like you know how sometimes it's like I don't know, I can't tell if your dad beat you too much or too little. Like apparently in Hitler's case, the answer is too much.
Apparently,
because he was beating him. And like to be fair, if your son was Adolf Hitler in particulars, you know how people are like, I don't know if I could kill baby Hitler. By all accounts, massive dickhead from childhood. sociopathic, piece of shit, asshole. It's fine. Take him out. Look, knowing, especially because you have the benefit of the hindsight of knowing what he's gonna do, right? Fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what Clara Hitler was doing, but I can't imagine if Alois was doing the Lord's work, beating the shit out of that kid, trying to kill yet another Hitler. I have to imagine, based on the descriptions of her, I have to imagine that she was like, "You get those Jews, buddy. You get them, pal. Fuck her." How old was she when she died? Let me just wiki this real quick. 47. Good. Good. And you know what? I will say this too for Mr. Hitler. Two problems. One, either didn't beat that son. He might have beaten that son too much or not enough. We still don't know. Two, shitty taste in women. Look at Clara Hitler. Look what she put out of that cunt. So it takes two to tango, and you fucking. That's what you shat out. You're a bad parent.
That is what you get.
And this was an era where women were considered to rule the domestic, so it is Clara's fault.
It's definitionally Clara's fault.
It's fucking, yeah. By German law, it is her fault. I said it. I'm blaming her. I blame her for the Holocaust.
Sucks to suck, I guess.
It does suck to suck, dude. Low skill. Bad as you got a rotten bush. We throw. If I could go back in time, it'd be Clara. Anal. You're bad at this. That pussy is poison.
Are you sure that idiot wasn't shooting terrible?
If he was shooting terrible, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant. He had to be shooting enough. Whatever was baking down in there, though, it was sourdough. That's all I'm saying. Again, Aloy apparently, by all accounts, was a
bad egg.
Was
honk.
Yeah. Ba-da-bump. Ugh.
Well, that feels
I'm so glad we solved
like,
history.
Yeah.
like a whole day.
Hitler's father and mother, worst parents.
It's Clara's fault.
It's Clara's fault.
The end.
The end.
And that's that.
And that's, you know what? Also, let me add one more piece of blame. Habsburgs.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Because low skill. If they hadn't started that whole goddamn World War I, we wouldn't have been in this mess.
I guess. Fucking
Yeah.
Habsburgs every time.
Wow.
I mean, it's kind of hard to really blame them, though, because like each generational iteration is getting more fucked genetically. So it's like at a certain point.
Yeah. They're probably cousins.
Well, I was just going to say, but just like cognitively, you know, can you really hold them responsible for their behaviors? You got that much consanguinity. Like, I don't think the contents of the cranium are like up to regular standards.
Yeah. Apparently he shaved the mustache down. Apparently the young Hitler had his dad's mustache and was like, I can get rid of this shit. Like everything about him was just being a whiny.
Even though I have the mustache, I will never look as cool.
Yeah. That's basically it, though.
Go boss uniform can't save you, buddy.
Might as well go kill a couple million people.
Yeah.
I can't grow a mustache, right?
Everything.
No, everybody will remember the postage stamp. That's going to be a really popular mustache soon. I'm going to make that famous. And then he shot himself. Fuck him, he's dead. Also, I want to point this out, right? He was another one who was like, we got to watch out for the degeneracy. And then he's like, oh, look, a 15-year-old girl. I better marry her. I'm only 55.
Oh, he fits right in with the Republican.
Yeah, he was a young one. Yeah,
Young
she was.
Republican.
Braun met Hitler in Munich in 1929 at age 17. Okay. Okay, so she started dating him at 19. Also, Ava Braun, not hot. Just putting that out there. You're the dictator of an entire country, allegedly a member of the master race, and you picked a 4. You picked a
Well,
young.
that's because
You were
90% of the women he tried to like have a relationship with killed themselves.
yeah.
So like
Well,
he was having like slim pickings at that point, motherfucker.
well, imagine thinking you're hot shit and then out of nowhere. Just imagine thinking you're hot shit and then out of nowhere the ugliest meth addict in all of Germany starts hitting on you and you're like, I have to kill myself. Ava Braun was the only dumb broad who was like, ooh. Adjusting her lederhosen. Girls, there's gonna be a visitor to the Hofbrauhaus. Ah, fucker, she got shot too. Nazi bitch. Fucker. Oh man. She was 33 and he was 56. Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me? You had to wipe his ass. Like, imagine. But your dad is
It's
the
about
same
that
age.
money.
Yeah, well, your dad's as old as Hitler. That's gross as shit. Oh my God, you know what she looked like? She looked like Ayn Rand. Look at this.
Ooh, yeah, a little bit.
Well, look at
Yeah,
that,
no, I
right?
see it. I
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Look at that. No wonder Ayn Rand's such a
Damn.
fucking dipshit. She's like, Ayn
And if you
Rand. Ayn Rand's like,
you
I'm
go
as
back
pretty
and
as
look
Ava
at
Braun.
She's probably sitting in the barber's chair. Yeah, give me the Ava Braun.
I don't have to take this shit from a bunch of commies.
Jesus.
I'm as sexy as Ava Braun.
If you go back and look at Hitler's relationships to you, they were all children compared to him.
I'm sorry. I'm dying now. None of this is a bit. I just can't stop laughing. I'm picturing Ayn Rand with that fucking Soviet accent. Just be like, I'm gonna put my legs behind my head. I'm gonna fuck like Eva Braun. and just the first dude who plowed her was like, I wish I had a handgun so I could fuck you like Eva Braun.
I was totally eating when you did that, and I almost like choked on my fucking pizza.
All these guys keep talking about wanting to give me face shots. I don't know if it's a compliment or not. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die laughing. Oh my God. What an absolutely ugly bitch. Oh my God. And that's just Hitler. That fucking meth junkie. I'm telling you what, if that's the master race, we're fine. Jesus Christ, you got an 8 head on that one. Holy shit. I do like that first picture I posted, Ava Braun, though, right? The first picture one, that's straight from the wiki, right? You look at that one and you're like, how's that bitch got a 9 head? And she has the smallest lips with just like this weird fucking bulb chin. And then her face is compressed, and Hitler was like, this is the hottest woman I've ever seen. It's like, weren't you blind for like 4 years? No shit. Man, yeah, I'm laughing, but we're losing to these people. All right, fam. I think we're good here.
I think so too.
Now that I've regained what little capacity